Hey all, and welcome back to the final part of our post-game coverage for Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. There was only one fight we could conclude this post-game batch with, and it is, of course, the enigmatic soldier, the lingering will himself, Terra.
This cutscene in particular is always... It has a special place in my memory, because the first time I played Final Mix was, of course, on emulator with a fan-made translation, and these added cutscenes that were not in the base game of KH2 did not get translated properly. So all of these text boxes are just filled with 21428, 21429, 21430, onward and onward, and I remember cracking up when I did that on stream.
But what could it possibly mean? Also, I don't understand the relevance of this portal being here in terms of canon, but I guess they had to stick it somewhere, so...
I guess it's kind of the best place to put it, rather than having it be in Radiant Garden like everything else already is.
Mm-hmm.
Twilight Town would have been another good spot for it, I suppose, but there's also enough already going on with that one. Oh, he's so cool, and he has a cape!
He does. It's not Birth by Sleep, where, you know, they had to take the multiplayer into account, and Fabric is hard, and there's making a game on the PSP.
I think it's probably better without the capes anyway, in terms of gameplay.
I love how it just sounds like reverberating metal when he speaks.
Well, there's nothing here but his will. It is the lingering will. That's all that's left here. There's no heart. There's no body. There is nothing in the armor but just Terra's lingering will. There's nothing better to call it than just that.
Yeah, it's kind of like the third entity. Like, we have the Heartless, which are the hearts consumed by darkness. We have the Nobodies, which is the body being driven by the soul. So this would just be the mind.
I guess there's also dreams, but those don't really have any kind of entity outside of the dream world itself.
Oh, he's mad.
Yeah, this is all from a misunderstanding, which I think comes from the fact that Sora doesn't get any added voice lines here, so he can't respond to the armor in any way. So he sees Sora with the Keyblade and was like, "No, I gave the Keyblade to Riku. This is not right."
Oh god, so many theories spawned from this fight. Like, why doesn't his Keyblade have a keychain? Is it unique? No, because they hadn't designed it yet.
There's so much going on here. To talk about the fight itself, with a normal setup that is no combo pluses or anything like that, he will typically take 5 hits from a finisher, guard break, explosion, etc., before retaliating. And he also has another gimmick in that the more times in a row you keep hitting him, the more damage that he keeps taking. You'll notice my attacks do more damage as I get more and more combos in. And since you can know about that retaliation after 5 hits, I can usually dodge that, Keyblade whip thing, but sometimes he decides to just keep going after that.
Do you think Sora will get more Keyblade transformations in 4 and beyond?
I sure hope so. I do like the transformations in 3. I feel like they were limited in, the fact that you had to equip a specific Keyblade in order to use them, rather than being able to just do a whole bunch of crazy stuff.
Also, he actually does kind of have a whip in the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, although it's more like a grappling hook.
The other thing about this fight is that there are a lot of things that Terra can do to start the fight. I think I got a very simple start here. This is actually one of the best attempts I've ever had at this fight that I got on this recording, so congrats to me, I guess.
Yeah.
Some of the things he can do include jumping on the Keyblade bike and riding around, which is usually one where I just call the fight a wash, because if he does this, he'll usually start spamming Blizzaga as well, and there's nothing you can do about that as far as I know. I was actually pretty lucky that he does not start using Blizzaga since he started using the bike here. Another thing you can do is locking your commands so that you can only use attack or only use magic. and you have to deplete, like, I guess a stagger bar would be the basic equivalent. But like I said, you can only use one or the other, so healing can only be done by items or your party members if you have the thing where you're stuck on only attacks.
Okay, I was going to ask about items, actually.
Yeah, he doesn't ever block items. He can start with this, which is the Ultima Cannon shot lock that he can get in Birth by Sleep, and you can reflect that. And that does count as finisher damage, which means you can only hit him with 4 combo finishers before he will retaliate.
Okay.
So you got to keep an eye on that.
I will say, it was pretty fucking terrifying when you turned the camera and it was just already charging up.
So this is his desperation move, which I think is meant to be Ars Solum, the command from Breath by Sleep. You just guard a couple times, glide away, and he'll kind of spin his Keyblade powers in place. Lock on, guard, 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 dash away, and he's done. I don't remember whose video guide I watched to be able to figure out how to do that, but thank you to whoever that was. It was probably 8 years ago at this point that I watched it.
Lordy Lord. So is that the fight basically down pat now? Does he have any other surprises?
No, this is basically what the rest of the fight is just these little laser things and him doing the Ars Solum desperation move over and over. And maybe a few things here and there of him trying to do normal attacks, but it's mostly going to be the Ars Solum loop for the rest here. And like I said, he takes more damage every time you keep hitting him. I think that resets if Sora gets hit, is the problem with that. So if you don't get hit, you end up doing tons of damage, though.
Right.
I do like with the little lasers, that particular move that he just tried to do is the one that locks Sora into either attacking or magic. When you reflect the lasers from the little gun machines that he has, they'll actually reflect in the direction of where Terra is at, even though he turns invisible when those things are on the field.
Alright, so that's basically the fight done, Dustin. We're just going through the motions now. We just want to say thank you all for tuning in to the entirety of the playthrough, the main game with Hell Dragon, the post-game stuff with Spar. As for what's coming up next for Spar and I, we're actually handling exclusive videos for the Patreon. If you're pledged at the highest tier, which is Platinum, we will be putting up private videos, essentially, exclusive videos, where you can just see us dicking about with all kinds of fun, different things that you wouldn't necessarily see on the main channel. And as for LP stuff, which will be available for everyone, you know, it's not exclusive, and LP stuff never will be. That'll be Pokemon Scarlet, and that'll be coming later in the year after Tanner and I are done with Marvel's Spider-Man 2.
And of course, we're still working on Metroid Prime Remastered, so don't forget about that one. That's still ongoing as well.
Well, that's basically coming to an end. A few more recording sessions and that one will be done, so it wasn't at the forefront of my mind, but I'm having a good time with that one.
Yeah, and I think Terra's not having a good time anymore because he's dead.
Oh, if only Donald Duck wasn't here, I could have won.
Donald did use Zeta Flare on Terranort, so maybe the Lingering Will could feel that.
Yeah. I wonder if they got anyone to replace Terranort in that particular timeline, or if that one was just a bust.
I think you see in Remind where he ends up going. He gets knocked to the other side of the Badlands, and Sora travels through someone's heart to end up fighting him there, if I recall correctly.
Alright, yeah, in the fixed timeline, when Lingering Will shows up to defend everyone.
We got our final proof. We got our gold crown, which is very cool.
Indeed we do. Alright folks, that'll do it for Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time for another HFC playthrough. Bye bye.